Hello, shooters, lovers, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. Hope y'all had a great week. Um, we got some topic ideas, and I hope y'all find them interesting. CW, how was your week, my brother?
Well, yet again, I'm a broken record, and it flew by. It just zoomed right by. Seems like the first time I looked at it, it was like Wednesday. I was like, wow. We had some funky weather. Wasn't so cold, probably seasonal. I got a lot of reloading done. I got another contender barrel in. I got to the range today. I got a couple of videos done this week. I got 3 or 4 videos today. I've got to edit them all and work on them over the weekend. But I got a lot of raw footage. I got a stock in for another rifle. I got another scope in. I got lots of stuff coming and going on. So more videos. I am into March with videos on YouTube.
Nice.
Into March, but Rumble is mostly up to date. I think it's only out a week or so. So good times. Lots going on. Using the smoker, having a good time.
Keep making me hungry.
Yeah, I said to everybody pictures. Hey, Hillbilly, how are you doing? I saw you had some nice weather. We didn't have it quite that nice. I think we got to 40 something.
Yeah, we had a couple decent days, and then we got a bunch of rain, and it cooled off. So we was kind of tired of that rain, so we was fishing on over towards Kentucky and over that direction. So anyway, I think we're looking at a pretty decent weekend. So hopefully to get out there and get some more videos shot this weekend. But yeah, all in all, it's been a great day.
Good deal.
So Andy, Dr. Zink, how you doing today, buddy?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm like CW. I went to work Monday morning. I looked up at the clock today and I said, damn, it's Friday already? It was like, holy moly, this week went. But it was good because my Dillon square deal, the powder measure gave me problem last weekend. Anybody that has the Dillons, they know they have this little plastic button that holds the top part of the powder charge bar in place. Well, my plastic went crack. The spacer went flying, emptied the hopper, all the powder came out.
Nice.
And I got the parts today, put it back together, and loaded up a bunch of stuff. So all is good. How about you, Six?
All right, yeah, it's been a pretty good week, I guess. We had nasty rain a couple days. It was beautiful today, though. But got some reloading done this week, and just about it for me. So another week. How about you, Gene?
Oh man, my week went fast too. Yeah, man. Yeah, before I knew it, it was Wednesday. It was like, where'd it go? Been busy at the shop, trying to stay busy in life. I've been trying to make a couple videos here and there. I do not have the time to have them out until March, like some people do.
March, maybe. I think it's the 15th or the 13th is the last one. So halfway through.
Man. That's
I backed off to 2 a week. So I'm still making lots of videos. I just, instead of doing them every day, I do them 2 a week. So
that's great. That's great. Now it's good to be here tonight. Hopefully we're going to have a fun show like we always do. But hey, how about you, KY? How you doing?
I had a good week. This is my first full week not having to put no thermals on, so it warmed up. Six and Hillbilly, y'all could have kept that rain because it started here last night and it has rained all day. This was our kids' first week back to school, full week after the snow, and they got sent home at 12 o'clock today because of flash floods.
Oh my goodness.
so they didn't quite make it through the week. Haven't got any videos done here lately other than the ones I got stored up because of weather and other situations. So hopefully I get to get out this weekend and do something. And you guys go check out Jamie's new video. He got some new toys today. He don't get a video out too often, but I saw it today. Good video, Jamie.
Thank you. I didn't know I
Thanks.
could still do that.
I didn't pop up on my notifications.
Yeah.
How about you, Walter? How was your week?
It was good and not so good. I think I told you guys a couple of weeks ago I got this skin condition going on, and I finally started the treatment for that last week. It's awful. Oh man, I was telling the guys earlier, it looks and feels like I'd scrubbed my face with poison oak, but there's only a couple more days of the process, and then it'll be over. And hopefully by the end of next week, my cute little face here will be smooth as the proverbial baby's, you know what. At least that's what the doctor told me. She said you're not going to be any better looking. It's just not going to hurt so much when you shave. Other than that, I had a couple good things. I got my new Ruger Vaquero, Bisley Vaquero in 45 Colt. Broke out of California jail on Monday, and I'm not supposed to be out in the sun, but I went to the range anyway, and put a few rounds through that revolver and had some fun with that. So you guys will be seeing that in some videos shortly. And then a bad thing on the same day happened. I left my chronograph at the range, and I thought I'd set it on the back of the truck or somebody swiped it or something, and about 2 seconds after I ordered a brand new one from Amazon, the range manager sent a blanket email out to all the club members. Hey, somebody left a chronograph at the range. It got turned in. If you ID it, I had the serial number and everything. And so I said, yep, come up on the weekend and get it. So I got to go back up there tomorrow and grab it. But and I was able to cancel all of the other orders because I'd ordered a new tripod and then
I was going to offer you $50 for it.
Yeah, I figured you might. So anyway, so that was that was hot and cold. I was mad at myself for A, for leaving it there, and B, for thinking somebody had stole it, and then when they hadn't, it had just been me living. You always feel a little guilty after those kinds of thoughts go through your mind, wrongly so. But anyway, all in all, it was a good week. I've been indoors mostly and getting some loading done, and popped a couple videos this week. We got a couple more ready to go for next week. So that's me, Mr. Rebel. How was your day? How was your week, man?
It went by fast. I'm a day behind Kentucky and Hillbilly and 6 as far as the rain. It's raining now. As y'all can see, I'm out on the veranda. It's a comfortable 60-something degrees out here. So, yeah, after bone chilling cold 2 weeks, it's finally south again. Thank God. I was going to start having to eat hash browns instead of grits, and get that Yankee thing going. And but yeah, it's been a good week. Do what?
Nobody called you. Nobody called you.
Okay. CW's talking to his dog. Hey, dog. Tonight I told the guys, I don't know if Jamie heard it because he wasn't on, but tonight in the shop, a guy brought in a Steyr Mannlicher tactical rifle, carbon fiber barrel, 308, to sell on consignment at the shop. And we tried to make him an offer. I was kind of out of it. I was helping a customer and I was listening. You listen with 5 ears to different conversations, and I didn't hear anybody slapping their wallet. So the guy wasn't coming off his price. But anyway, we warned him, hey buddy, anything over $2,000 is going to stay here a little bit, but, hopefully we can find a home for it somewhere. Sold another lever action this week.
Oh,
Good
you mean
Lord.
a lever action? Hey,
Yeah. Well,
I tell you something you get a kick out of, and we'll get to Mark. I hadn't seen Thorzak's in here, but he was asking me how I cook grits. And I wrote him back this recipe and sent it back to him. And he's like, I said, well, the first thing I said, first of all, you gotta take anything that says instant grits and take it outside, pour gas on it, and set it on fire. That's the first thing.
amen.
And then the second thing, I wrote him out how I do it, and he did it, and he wrote me back about 2 days later. He says, "Man, you got that grits thing down, don't you?" I'm like, yeah, I kind of do.
From birth.
You know, there's two ways to eat grits, and that's sweet or savory. I'm a savory kind of guy. Y'all knew that.
That's me.
Tim S., what's a grit?
That's a gauge of sandpaper, you know.
Yeah, that's that is the filter they run the sand through to make sandpaper. Walter, remind me before we get done tonight to show you my tripod.
Oh, okay.
For the lab radar. And Preacher's Day off. Float them grits on butter. That's what I'm talking about.
Around here, we call them true grits, the way we cook them.
Right. Don't be afraid of bacon, and don't be afraid of bacon grease when you're cooking grits, boys.
Don't be afraid of cheese either.
And don't be afraid of garlic either.
No. Don't be afraid of black pepper or red pepper either.
Flaked red pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just put all that stuff in a bowl and then leave the grits out and taste the same?
No.
I don't know, you got a lot of ingredients going on.
Look here, California.
We want to say hey to Mark Thomas and welcome him to the panel and see how his week went. I seen your video this morning.
He was busy eating scrapple.
I got to get some this weekend. I've heard that mentioned about 4 times in the last week and a half, and I gotta get some. My week was good. We had our first full 5-day week of January at school, and we made it through. I did get to make a video or a couple of videos recently. That recent pickup that I got, that little Bulldog 44 special, and taking a dive into that, and I really like it. And I don't want to sound like a complainer or a pansy or anything, but that cast bullet load was harsh. That big, heavy, fat wooden grip. There's actually some bruising. I can't get the back of the grip into the webbing, and it just hit that bone. And the first 2 shots, you can see me wince on the video. So
yeah,
I'm going to have to get some new grips for that and maybe back that load down a tenth or 2. But the hollow points, the jacketed ones, those were great. They felt fine, and that'll be my carry load when I do carry it. But yeah, just been a good time. We've kind of almost finished up with wrestling season. Seth has another tournament next weekend. That'll probably be the last of it. So things will slow down a little bit, and I'll be able to get back to doing some of the things I do. But thanks for having me. Great to be here. Sorry I was a little bit late. We had another darn good dinner.
You're eating scrapple. I know.
No, we had some salmon and some steak and some sweet potatoes. That was good stuff. And while we're on the subject of food and grits, breakfast grits, bacon, cheese, and some fried eggs on top. That's the best grits. And for a dinner, I love that Low Country Carolina shrimp and grits and sausage. Oh, love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing like a Low Country boil.
Mm-hmm.
and the bigger the shrimps, the better.
Listen to Jamie. Shrimps. Yeah, that's it. It ain't a
You
shrimp.
know, I learned real quick what bait shrimp and eating shrimp were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and about all you see up here is like that bait shrimp. Every once in a while, you might see some appetizer shrimps, but you actually don't see no eating shrimps. You know, when I was down in the Gulf of Mexico, bought some shrimps off this little goop lady on the beach, and man, she opened this container up. I was like, "Holy crap!" And I'm an Ohio boy, young. I was like, "Holy what?" And she's like, "Oh, he's eating shrimp." I said, "What about those small ones?" She said, "Oh, those are for bait." I said, "Well, I'll take some of the meat shrimp then." We went back and made some gumbo.
Let me tell you something. Talking about shrimp and grits, and you're going to put shrimps in your grits, you got to have a etouffee sauce. And if I'm not doing an etouffee sauce, I'm not doing shrimp and grits. That's
Amen.
You got to have that rich brown sauce, and yeah.
I made shrimp and grits for my son and his wife down at the beach one year, and my son has eaten at some of the finest restaurants in the South. And his wife looked up at me after I made that etouffee sauce and added the shrimp, and she looked at me and she said, "You got enough of that for seconds, don't you?" And I went, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "I ain't never eaten nothing like that." I said, "That's because it's full of vitamin F, fat." Which, by the way, I went to the doctor this week and did my blood work, and my triglycerides were down, and my cholesterol was down, and all that kind of stuff. He said, "Have you changed your diet?" And I looked at him and grinned. He's a hunter too. He went, "No, I didn't think so."
Okay, let's get to the topic we're done about. Ran into our time to call out the side chat. First thing we want to talk about, and then we're going to get into revolver and pistol hunting. There's something I gotta ask Walter about that Bisley kind of stuff. What do you think about hunting with subsonic, suppressed, or I guess kind of subsonic goes with a suppressor, doesn't it? One was not much good without the other, kind of thing going on there. Anyway, what brought this topic on, and I don't know how long ago it's been, but CW sent me this video, and he said he was enthused about it. And this is really about a particular bullet, but I'm going to see if I can show y'all this, at least a little bit of it. It's about 5 minutes. Should we watch all of it?
Sure.
I got the first part of it cut out, so let's just go and see what it does.
This is a Lehigh Defense bullet.
A wicked bullet.
500 and something grains.
Boom.
Drop this big old doe right in its tracks, man. You can see right there where the base of that bullet exited. It's kind of a slightly quartering shot. All right, there we go. That's where the entry hole is, right at the point of the shoulder there. This is a big old Virginia doe.
The base of the bullet's so big you can see the trace.
The guy's a good shot.
He does some nice videos. He's got some real good cameras. He
Yeah.
films a lot with his whole family, his wife and his daughter, and they usually do coyotes. But
He's shooting those deer right where I shoot them.
This thing has dropped
Yeah.
everything that it's hit with the new Lehigh Defense 570 grain control fracturing subsonic copper bullets, man. Get you some.
Watch this.
this is longest shot.
Crush that deer. All right.
What caliber is he shooting, CW?
This is a 458 SOCOM.
Okay. I figured with that weight.
Crush that deer at 184 yards with the 458 SOCOM. Shooting subsonic, man.
Not me.
Shooting these new Lehigh Defense 570 grain controlled fracturing subsonic bullets around 980 feet per second. As you can tell, it just wrecked that deer, man. Check out this rifle. I've got the new Diligent Defense BBCL 458 suppressor. It's so quiet and lightweight. It's an awesome addition to this rifle. Let's go check out this deer.
Look at that.
Ew.
You're just lobbing it in there.
180 yards is
All right, you guys,
quite a
here's where
poke
I
with a
came from, right there on that
subsonic.
No doubt.
deer. And
How fast was that bullet going?
deer
Started at the muzzle at 980.
right here.
I think that's enough of that. Well, we'll show the old guy's whole video. Let me find out who that was.
What do you think, CW? You probably hit it at 580 feet per second, 6.
I would think in that range, yeah.
He's his name is Coyote Down is the name of his channel.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Yeah, if you hit the spine, they'll drop.
That big old long bullet for sure. Wonder what it does internally. Well, a couple of them hit, they went through and through, didn't they?
Hold
It's
on,
a-
man, Big
It's a
Al.
machined bullet with cut curves. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really expand per se like you think of expansion. It more fragments.
Yeah.
And
Pedals off.
the pedals make their own wound tracks. So it's kind of, I mean, you've got solid copper bullets that expand, and then you've got these machined bullets that they're set up to fragment.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind of projectile. And I'm not the biggest fan of copper bullets. I don't need what they bring to the table. I don't need that deep penetration for my kind of hunting, my kind of animals around here. And my downfall or my big negative about them is the fact that they don't expand. Number one, they don't expand where the manufacturers say they do, because they're using expansion as just deformation of the nose. When you and I and everybody in the world who's a hunter thinks of expansion, they see that 60s Remington mushroom ad where that bullet is mushroomed right down and you've got, 60% of your bullet left and you've got a mushroom that's 2 calibers diameter. That's what every single hunter thinks of when you say expansion.
Mhm.
Well, with copper bullets, that's not the case. They're saying 1800, they're saying 2000, they're saying something like that. And that's pretty much beginning of expansion. If you want full expansion, you're looking at better part of 2400-ish feet per second. So with some of the small calibers that I use and people around here use, and a lot of the AR calibers like the Grendel and such, it never really attains a velocity that's going to get you that expansion. You need the big magnums. You need the big full size cases. And I'm not downplaying those. That's great if you need that horsepower, but we just don't when you're shooting inside 100 yards for a couple 100-pound critter. That's not going to come back and chew on you with fangs and claws and such. So for me, and the ones that I've shot with it, they don't seem to. It doesn't seem to be as efficient a killer. That fragmentation of that lead and jacket and such, that just makes for quick kills. And the copper bullets work fine. They just don't seem to work as good. Now these fragmenting bullets, that might be a game changer. Now they're very expensive. They're even more expensive than Barnes type stuff. But it might be a game changer because they, like I said, they don't expand the way we're thinking of expansion. They fragment, but they produce wound channels.
Way back in the day, CW, I think Lehigh had a sale, and I mistakenly got loaded ammunition instead of bullets. Later on, I got bullets, but I got some of the controlled fracture 300 blackout, and I said, well, I'm going to try it. And I didn't have time to make up some wet pack, so I just set out a couple gallon milk jugs full of water, stepped back 25 yards, and pop one, and I got soaking wet. The main base of the bullet and the three petals were all separated in the second gallon and had spread out all over the place. One went slap through. I didn't recover. What is it, break into 4 or 3? I can't remember.
Like that, yeah, it depends.
Yeah, I didn't recover one.
Those 194s that they first produced, we bought them. A bunch of us bought them on the blackout forums there, and we tried them and tested them, and those things are vicious.
They're true expanders. They're not fracturing.
Well, they don't build those as fracturing, but they're not just scored. They are cut.
They're skived.
Yeah, they're. I mean, if they're not cut all the way through like a cross, at least the one I'm thinking of in my head.
Yeah,
I believe it's 3, so it's like a truncated cut, so you can't see right through it. But it's cut all the way through, and it's a hollow point all the way to the shank, so it leaves you a good sized base to carry forward and give penetration. But those wings, petals, what do you call it? I don't know. They a lot of times will stay attached, but they also can break off. I think the one that they're using in that video are designed physically to break off because they have a whole bunch of those control fracturing, control chaos bullets they come out with after the fact, and they're just tremendous, downright tremendous.
Okay, hold on a minute. We got questions from the side chat we need to tend to here. I found Big Al's first. That was a 570 grain bullet, Big Al. Abigail asked what was his distance. That last one was 184 yards, and you saw in the slow-mo how he was lobbing that in there. So I would say that is at the very outside of his distance. And Pollard said that seems like a long shot for a slow bullet, and I totally agree.
Well, here's a thought for Abby, and I'm responding to Abby's comment about she wouldn't use a fracturing bullet on anything she planned on eating. Here's a thought for you. I mean, if you're used to using hunting with cup and core bullets, that bullet is fragmenting, that lead bullet, and it's sending molten lead into the meat we're eating. And you don't find those. You don't find that lead. It's in there. So that meat technically is tainted. You cut that out, or you don't eat it, or you whatever. So if you're using a control fracturing bullet, you're talking about a chunk of copper, an inert metal. That's a big chunk. And if you were to find it, it's gonna be, you're gonna find it when you're cutting, you're gonna find it when you're chewing or biting, or it's a big chunk. It's not a little bitty thing. So it's, to my mind, it's more favorable than
I'd
than
say on the 30 caliber
powdered lead.
bullets, the 30 caliber bullets, each one of those fragments is probably 30 grains.
It's a good size.
Yeah, it's a good size. On that 458, it's probably
not
about the
tiny.
size. It's the size of a 223, probably.
So, Big Al, the muzzle velocity on that round was, I think, 980 feet per second. How fast was it going when it got out there to that 184-yard deer? And I wouldn't know. And no, don't you ever shut up on this show, man. We love you and we want to hear from all you guys. I just wish we could get to your comments faster. DWD37. A lot of guys are saying you need a new barrel or just clean decopper your barrel to get accuracy out of a copper bullet. I've never shot copper bullets, so I wouldn't know about that. The Scotsman has joined us. Yeah, Abigail, I don't think hollow point is quite the right term. I think soft point would do better, like CW was saying, cup and core, copper cup, leather core.
Core locked, inner bond, or inner whatever the Hornady bullet is. Winchester deer season, they're all cup and core.
Okay. Sit there and lay down.
Yeah. Yeah, so we need to
Lay down.
that's interesting. Tactical Rabbit, I'd like to see a bullet that has a fire point for a 44 caliber.
FTX bullets.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't call it a spire point, but it's pointy, you know.
Get a plastic tip on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's you some experience.
Weirdo jive. Weirdo jive on that FTX.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Hey, there you go.
I want to try some in my 44.
Yeah. Good to see RE Iron Miner. I hope I'm saying that right. What should we let them type in, Walter?
Well, we're talking about shooting subs and how about just quiet?
That'd be good. Type in quiet. We'll call your name out on TV. Big Al said sub. Big Al's obviously out there. And Big Al said, so we're going, and they're off the page. But I have a
You got a mouse.
mouse. Yeah.
There's a mouse in the house.
So Big Al was first. Walter is on the panel and the side chat. He was second. Texas 6 is on the panel and the side chat. So is Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies. Glenn Davis is out there. Bama Dad. Paul Loud. Andy 79Z28 is also on the panel and the side chat. Edward Petty. Abigail Finnegan. Crash. Glenn Davis. Bobby Barlow, Tactical Rabbit, Andre D'Angelo, James Pollard, Dwayne 7834, Gizzard Gary, reloaded from the hot pot. Mr. Jeans on the panel as well. So is Mike Hester, the Rebel. Pistol Pete's out there. Dale Pogue. There's our attacking daughters. Preacher's Day Off, yelling quiet at us. 3 Jeep Discovery, James Pollard, Hillbilly Up is on the panel as well. Tim S, Papa's Place, Artac and Daughters, Service Venator, R4 Mississippi Thunder, Walks Fletcher. Hey buddy, how you doing? Hope you're feeling well. Service, my grandmother made me watch the Waltons every Sunday night. Every Sunday. And Floridian. she would call me up on the phone and tell me to turn on the Waltons. No kidding. Serious.
Oh yeah. Our grandmother said it reminded her of the way she grew up in rough times.
My mama watched it all the time.
I know, Scotsman. Right turn, Clyde. Strip the caddy, Clyde.
Yeah, I know one time we was watching an episode of that, and the ice guy showed up with the blocks of ice for the ice cooler, and Grandma said, "You love seeing them come because they would let us kids like get in the back of the truck and cool off a little bit, and like any of the ice is chipped off and on, laying on the floor of the truck or whatever, we could pick up and eat." She goes, "It is probably the same as like." Kids later on seeing the ice cream man, She said, we'd love seeing the ice truck coming.
So we got Floridian joined us. Beaver Firearms says, nope, he's not quiet. He's loud and proud for the Lord. Amen. Oh, one guy's out there. Preacher has a theory, and y'all can expound on this if you want to. When it comes to taking game, velocity does it better. Heavy bullets and fancy bullet can close the gap, but speed still kills.
I agree.
But there's one caveat to that. You can't miss them fast enough to kill them.
Amen.
I look at speed as horsepower. I like foot-pounds of energy. I like me-plats. So big and heavy and slow, that's for me.
Oh, man. Thanks for letting us know, Pistol Pete. Y'all keep Big Johnson in your prayers. Like he fell from his truck. Alaska 1 Andy says quiet. Good to have him out there. And Preacher's laughing. He said, that's true, Jamie. But yeah, you get speed going where it needs to go, and yeah, you got lethality. But everything in life
defeats armor, defeats steel. It penetrates. It goes through stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's everything in life's a swap off. I mean, cloth seats get dirty, but leather seats make your butt sweat. So
well, the other consideration with reloading these type bullets, if I might defer to Andy, if he was making a bullet out of his stuff and make it to weight, all right, it would be way longer for the same weight, and that's the way copper is. So you have to kind of adjust your what you're doing, because it's a long bullet. If you're using a powder that doesn't take compression well, you have to, even subsonic, you have to be careful. How long do you think a 580 grain copper bullet is? About that long. I mean, that's long.
It's longer than the case for sure, but so are a lot of the blackout bullets,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
I reckon it depends on the caliber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're all long for caliber.
For sure. I've got some 180 something grain 6.5 millimeters, and I got some 240 grain 8 millimeters. They're long bullets. My 30 caliber blackout bullet is 150, and that's longer than the case. I'm sorry, 250. That's longer than the case.
But in the progression of this subsonic hunting, me and CW had a moderator on our forum who was kind of I'm going to use the word pioneer. And he's a good guy. He lives here in North Carolina. And when he started subsonic hunting, he was relying on the bullet tumbling. So the first buck he ever killed was with a 208 grain AMAX, and he shot it in the neck, and the thing tumbled, and because it's a real long bullet, and he tracked the deer. He even made a video of him tracking the deer, and if Stevie Wonder could track that deer, and he killed it, and he was so excited to see the progression of these expanding bullets. And he's a caster as well. But it's come a long way, is what I'm saying.
Was anybody on the panel hunt with subsonic, or did I miss that? I had to run in the other room for a minute.
I've hunted with subsonic before, not deer. I've killed a few coyotes, subsonic. Haven't had the opportunity to pig hunt. That would be my choice for pig hunting. Like CW says, meplat, behind the ear, real quiet, thwip, 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 and maybe, of course, they all spook if they're in a group. Once that big bullet hits a pig, that's a loud sound. It's louder than you're hearing your firing pin fall.
I know a lot of times we shot them on the range with the suppressors, and everybody would say, "Oh, it's great. You don't have to wear hearing protection." Well, let me tell you something. You better wear hearing protection, because that bullet hitting that steel gong, 25,
loud.
100 yards away is loud. You need hearing protection for the sound of that bullet hitting the backstop.
I can definitely attest for that, because I own a few suppressors, and yeah, you got to wear ears because of the ringing of the steel.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, for me, that's something I'm really looking forward to, is hunting 300 blackout, suppressed, subsonic, and I'm really looking forward to that to next year.
Just use it like a bow, hillbilly. Wait, or a pistol. Wait till they're within 50 yards or whatever you think your limitation is.
Evidently, you ain't never hunted here in the hills. You get a 50-yard shot. That's a long distance.
I've hunted in the mountains before. I know exactly.
Well, anyway, for us here, I'm just saying, you're not going to get that, over 100-yard shot. So that's going to work perfect around here, same as 30-30 does and stuff. So for us personally.
So last week, Hillbilly, I didn't get to ask you. Y'all say hey to Kyle.
Hey. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
We were asking the panel last week, and you bailed out. Not bailed out, but you were going to do something. What's your favorite action in a rifle? Single shot, bolt action, lever action, or semi-auto? And be careful how you answer this question.
I mean, for fun, definitely lever. If I'm hunting, I love a good bolt action. Depending on what I'm hunting, but lever action is probably my favorite, but
Crash says semi all day.
Hunted with them all. I love them all.
I hunt with all of them.
You betcha.
Now I shoot, or I hunt with subs too. I've been doing it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Doing my air guns. Nearly all the air guns are subsonic, and they take deer all the time.
Yep.
See, and I'll tell you, 6's air guns are deadly. Friggin' deadly.
I mean, not this last hunting season, but last year's hunting season, I went out to prove a point. I took a 30-06 with 150 grain Sierra bullets. They were factory loads. Shot a deer at about 65 yards in the neck, dropped her in her tracks. repeated that with my 308 air rifle that's shooting 150 grain cast lead bullet. She dropped in her tracks.
Cool.
One's traveling 2,800 feet per second. The other one's traveling 800 feet per second.
There is no degree of dead. Dead is dead.
Count us down, Walter. We have a sighting.
All right, here we go. On 3, 2, 1. Hey, Mario. Hit it, Dean.
West Coast weirdo.
Now, as far as suppressed, I haven't hunted subs with suppressed, but I'm just going to solve that problem.
I hear you.
There you
Well,
go.
that video really got me going because I've been wanting to do that with my 450 Bushmaster for quite a while, and I'm on the verge of a suppressor purchase as well, and I want one of them 46s bad, and that's the target firearm for it. That my Ruger American. I've been shooting them for quite a while. Haven't ever hunted with them, but the advantage that I see with the bigger bullets is just the power on tap.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking 400 and 500 grain bullets at 1,000 feet per second. You have more energy than a typical 44 Magnum handgun, and there's very few people who would not use a 44 Magnum for a deer inside 100 yards, pistol, rifle, single shot, whatever. So it's got a lot more power than a 300 Blackout subsonic. Plus, you've got 45 to begin with. So 300 Blackout has to do a lot to expand to 45 caliber, and you're already 45 with a 45. And you choose a big flat bullet. You don't need expansion.
Now you're making a big hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Rollis, drive careful, buddy. He's headed to Lenore City, Tennessee.
Safe travels, bud. Safe travels.
Savage Lee. You don't get extra points for extra dead.
No.
No.
All out.
Trust me, I've killed groundhogs extra dead, and I don't get any extra port.
The only
Deaders.
difference between those two deer were the 30-06 put a little bit bigger hole in it
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
Kentucky Rimfire getting some love up there.
Forged and fire reference there.
Got him a big baby.
Bye, Kyle. Plus, Dirty Harry approves 44 Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that
Those
kind of
were-
leads me quickly to the question I had for Walter. How do you? I know you haven't hunted in a long time, and I know you hunted with 30-30 mostly, but and I'll tell all you guys, I love hunting with lever actions, but I love hunting with bolt guns too. But there's something about that lever action. You just pop it and you're not putting it down. And I know you can do the same thing with a bolt gun, but that dog looks like you, KY. Anyway,
Purdy.
Walter, how do you think this thing, this subject or this topic translates over into handgun hunting? What would you consider the least you could get by with hunting deer with a revolver?
Well, I know guys out here, and our country is a lot like hillbillies. It's what we call chaparral in the hills. And when we're talking hills here, it's different from hills in Oklahoma, I reckon, because our hills here are 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 feet, going up to 8,000 feet, just 60 miles that away from me. So a lot of valleys. Nobody in their right mind shoots from one ridge across the half mile to the other ridge, because you got to descend 2,000 feet then up the other side and come. So the shots are short, and they're going to be inside 50 yards, often well inside 50 yards. So a 357 can do it. Guys deer hunt with 357 all the time. The less recoil. If 44 Magnum, for me, you got to see me shoot. 44 Magnum is kind of, that's hard cheese for me to handle right now. But I know guys that do it, but I wouldn't want to hunt with less than a 357. I don't think. Even our little coastal deer, they're not very big. If you get one that weighs a $120, you're doing good. But I wouldn't want to take anything like a 9mm or even 40 Smith and Wesson. 45 ACP is kind of hard enough to get enough velocity out of it to do a whole lot of damage. I would think. I don't know. I don't know anyone who's ever hunted with a 45 auto, but
Yeah, you do.
do they? Yeah, I wouldn't want to go out with less than a 357. And the other side of that is we got other critters in our forests out here too. We got black bear, and they're plentiful, and so are mountain lions right now too. So you want something, enough to take care of business should that get into your work. It doesn't happen very often, but every now and then it does.
So down here we call them cougars, and a guy took his game cam pictures to the DNR and showed them pictures of a cougar, and they said, well, that's not possible because cougars have been extinct in the state of Georgia since the 30s.
They showed them the pictures.
They tell us the same thing.
Yeah.
I told you my story, didn't I, Jamie? About hunting in the Sunburst Wilderness of Haywood County. That's Popcorn Sutton's old stomping grounds. And it was snow on. We were grouse hunting, run across some bear tracks, run across some grouse tracks, run across some cat tracks. And they were about that big. And I said, man, that's a pretty good sized cougar. And my buddy agreed. We got back to the vehicle, was eating a sandwich, having a beer. Game warden come up, checked her license. He said, you boys see anything interesting? I said, yeah. I said, there's some cougar tracks right up about 150 yards up that trail. He said, now, son, he said, the eastern cougar's been extinct for the last 100 years. I said, I didn't ask where the SOB was from. I just know he's been up there. I don't care if he's eastern, western, northern, or southern, but he's there, and he clammed up. He clammed up pretty quick.
Well, that's the crap that they told us when there was one kill on the highway down here in 95. They told us it was from North Dakota.
Yeah, he had gone out hiking that day.
Yeah.
I only saw him twice while I was hunting, and a couple more times while I was hiking. But
it might have been dark when I was born, but it wasn't yesterday.
It wasn't yesterday, or last night.
Yeah. Oh, them things are ghosts in the woods, man.
Yeah,
I mean, we got tons of bobcats around here. You don't see them all the time.
Quick yes or no answer from the panel. I know a lot of us have got them. How many of you guys would be confident taking your lever action 357 Magnum deer hunting? Start with Andy. He hadn't said much this evening.
You haven't said much. I have no problem taking that hunting.
You'd feel comfortable?
Well, I've shot with my pistols, so the rifle's going to be better. So
yeah. Hillbilly?
Yeah, definitely. That's my number one hunting rig.
Cool. CW?
I've taken them with the revolver in 357. I've taken at least one that I remember with my Marlin, so I've used it. So it's fine. I've done it. Yeah, I like the 158 XTP FP flat point bullet at about 1,800 feet per second. It works great.
Well, that's moving for 357 Magnum, man.
Well,
but with that longer barrel out of the rifle,
18-inch barrel. Yeah.
Yeah. Try shooting a zinc bullet at maximum power, and you want to see some speed.
Yeah.
According to Quick Lows, I'm at 1,950 feet per second if I go to a max charge.
That's smoking.
And that's 170 grain lead bullet. Comes out, what did I forget, like 113, something like that?
Yeah.
Zinc.
So Walter, you've already said you'd feel comfortable with that.
Oh yeah. Well, and style of hunting where I've lived when I was hunting, and I'm in town now, was different than what a lot of other folks call hunting. There's no tree stands because the trees are oak trees and they don't work. You don't have enough of a trunk to get you elevated. And so what I was doing was mostly hunting on horseback and with a dog, and cutting trail, get off, ground tie the horse, try to figure out if that trail you're looking at was fresh enough or not to go follow up, and it was a stalk. And you'd come up and scout like everybody else does a couple 3 weeks in advance and try to find out where they're feeding, where they're bedding down and stuff. And it was a pretty good horseback ride to get up to where we were hunting, so you were going to be up there a couple of days usually. So if you were carrying a rifle, it was in a scabbard on horseback. And, if you were fortunate enough to see a deer while mounted, you had to pull that rifle out and hope your horse was going to be calm enough while you got the shot off.
And not throw you off the back once that hammer hits the primer, right?
Well, I'll say this, Walter. I've hunted off horseback several times, and a lot of people don't know this fact that you can shoot off of any horse at least one time.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, I know that.
What?
Yeah.
It could be a really good shot, but on the way down, you're trying to figure out which to save first, your butt or your rifle.
You guys are cracking me up.
What can I do for you?
Kentucky Rimfire, you got an opinion on this?
What?
I would hunt with a 357 rifle, yeah.
Gene?
Yeah, nice big CW style bullet in there and run it out there at 1,350 feet per second or something. You get the job done.
I have not, but I know enough people who have. I would trust to do it.
Six.
Well, considering my air rifle produces about the same amount as a 38 special, I would have no problems with a 357.
Yep.
Very cool.
Plus, you can carry a handgun in the same caliber, same ammo. Fairly handy thing to be able to do.
Mark?
If I had one, I would have no problem with it.
Yeah, you're spoiled on 35 Remington now.
Yeah, yep, I got the 35 Remington and I got the 32 special, and I would hunt with either of those with no reservations. And a 357 revolver, absolutely. I would hunt with that. Around here in Pennsylvania, you're going to get plenty of opportunities close enough that even with iron sights, you could take a deer with that.
Sure enough.
Mr. Rebel.
I do not own a 357 rifle. I own a Smith & Wesson Model 19. I'm not going to say what I kill with it, but it was a half-tooth thing, and it was big, and it died. That being said, here in the South, there's probably been more deer taken with a 22 Magnum and a flashlight. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's just there. Than anything.
Did it have 3 holes in it?
All right. You ready, Gene?
Yes, sir.
If I can do this.
Can you get that together, sir?
I'm trying. Y'all give me a minute.
We're going to hear Iron Maiden.
Well, the blame thing keeps going away here.
What is your problem? You are a funny girl.
I'm going to send you some treats, CW.
He's got buckets of treats. I don't know what she wants.
I know. Attention.
Yeah, probably. She probably wants time to go to bed.
It's time for What's Hot Pot Got.
Rockin' Gene.
Welcome back, my pupils. It's time for What's Hot Pot Got. What's Hot Pot Got tonight? I might have shown this before. Not quite sure, but this is a cool little cartridge. This is a 220 Swift.
Oh, yeah. The Screamer.
Nice little bottleneck screaming cartridge. We get these come through every once in a while. Got some in a bucket. Not enough to really put on the website, but if you need something like this, call. There's probably a chance I've probably got a bucket with some of this kind of stuff in it. Even the oddball stuffs. Stuff like I show. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this 220 Swift. This 220 Swift is a rifle cartridge designed for hunting and small game environments. It was developed by Winchester and released in 1935. The 220 Swift is known for its high velocity and accuracy. The 220 Swift was the first factory-loaded rifle cartridge with the muzzle velocity of over 1,200 ms. It could fire a 40-grain bullet at over 4,200 FPS. 220 Swift has a flat trajectory and is known for its accuracy. The round has a semi-rimmed case, which means the case head is a different diameter than the bolt face. See that there? A little bit larger. 220 Swift was based on the 6mm Lee Navy case. Winchester released the 225 Winchester in 1964 as a replacement for the 220 Swift. 220 Swift held the record for the fastest commercial cartridge in the world until 2003 when the Winchester released the 223 WSSM. The 220 Swift is used for hunting small game environments. Some say it's a good cartridge for coyotes. Isn't that just cool?
That's a lightning bolt in a brass bottle right there, buddy.
Man, after reading about this, it's like, I read about all these cartridges and I go, man, I really like to have those because I know I've got the brass. In that case, I would have my house isn't big enough for that many guns. I see that many cartridges come through. But we have, at Republic Ammunition, we have Cervasio small pistol primers on sale. I believe they are 3.2 or 3.8 a piece. And I've used them a lot. They are good. They go kapew. So that's for you. All right. That's all I got on this episode of What's Hot Pot Got.
Awesome.
I'll tell
Sounds
you what
like two live moves use that 22 Swift out there.
I'll tell you what a 220 Swift will do. One of my best friends about 20 years ago, he was on his way to go hunting, and him and his grandfather, that's all they ever hunted with was a 220 Swift. And there was a buck out in a field. So my buddy stopped his car and took a rest across the roof of his car, and he shot this deer. And the first time he shot, it didn't stop moving. And he's like, something's wrong because this gun is deadly. So he shoots again, and the deer's neck stops moving. Next thing you know, the game warden pulls up. He shot the gearbox out of that mechanical deer's neck.
Whoops.
Needless to say, he lost his gun and his hunting rights for a few years, but he got his gun back. And in court, they tried to make him pay for the repairs to the deer, but
I was going to say that.
his lawyer got him out of it because he said if they didn't want the deer shot, they shouldn't have put it out there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, a buddy of mine shot one of them with a bow and arrow on purpose. I mean, he was walking. He seen it, and he's like, I'll be dang. So he said he drew back and shot that dude and just sat down and waited for the game warden to show up. Said, I wasn't breaking the law, you know.
What's weird is, as popular as the 22-250 is, it stayed a wildcat until the 1960s. Townsend Whelan had a hand in the development of the 22-250, and Remington didn't take it on as a Sammy cartridge until the 1960s. So the 220 Swift was way ahead of its time for Sammy specs.
Yep. It almost did the numbers that the 220 does. Almost.
You know what, CW? I can't remember where I set my reading glasses down, but this reloading crap, all this cartridge knowledge spills out of my brain all the time.
Oh yeah.
What kind of nerd am I?
Hey guys, I'm going to bail out. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.
Good night, Andy.
Okay, Andy, take it easy.
Hey,
Andy.
Good night, Andy.
Good night, everyone.
Night, Andy.
Chat.
Well, you know, just recently they developed that the 5.56 case with a 17 bullet, and it's shooting 4,000.
Yep.
well, they had the 17 Remington, and then I don't know what that case is called that Hillbilly's
222
talking
mag.
about. Is it?
Oh,
No, the 17.
well, the new one that's out is the 17223.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 223, not 5.56. I'm sorry.
Yep.
But the reason they said, you know, reloading, you know, you use all your same casing, I guess, or something. So
Well, that's why I have 2 6x45s. It's just a necked up 223. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yep. I'd like to find one of them in a contender barrel.
Now, Tactical Rabbit said he knows of a cartridge I don't have. And which one is that?
I didn't see it.
Because I'll look for it.
Yeah, it was
got-
back up there. I saw that comment too.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got buckets of stuff in the shop that I got to go through everything I've shown so far so I don't start duplicating things.
there you
20
go.
millimeter. We've actually had some. We had some on here, 20s and 30s. Because I know I've got a couple of cases.
I got some 20 cases.
I showed cases on here of those.
Yeah, we had them. We had them on here.
Yeah.
I got some on my bench too.
They're large.
Yep.
I went bow hunting down South Texas, and the part of the ranch used to be a part of the gunnery sites out of San Antonio Air Force. There are 20 miller cases laying everywhere. I'd hate to.
Yeah, we got a bucket of them at the shop. They come in through stuff.
I'd hate to be out there on that field when them planes come by letting those things go because they're raining down 20
Yeah,
miller.
they're not light.
No, I mean they're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says a 4406. I think I seen a 4406 at the shop. I think I might be in my cart where I sort the rifle brass at.
That's the 444 is basically a rimmed 06.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 444 the 44 Super Mag, the 44 Automag. It's a cut down 06 or 308 case to make that one.
Yeah, I got some of them too.
Yeah.
That thing ain't
Now they're developing a 25 Creedmoor. Oh God.
Yeah.
More Creedmoor. Yeah, I've got one of those sitting on my end table, and I keep a pin in it. That's my pin hole.
that thing. It probably weighs 3/4 of a pound.
Yeah. They put a knot on your head.
Kill you.
Who was it that sent us a picture of a 300 blackout last week?
Wasn't me.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I know. I can send you one if you need one.
Yeah, I got a couple 300 blackouts. You want a shorty or a long one?
I just ain't crazy about that thing, and I don't know why.
It kills, Jamie. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, someone fell.
My dog's in there. I better go see about it.
Mine started barking at me now. She's groaning at me. She's laying here staring at me. I don't know what she wants.
He didn't get his walk tonight, so he's probably mad at me.
He sounds like it.
Yeah.
You're groaning? It's Ellie's groaning at me.
Let me go see about it.
She's laying right here on the couch staring at me, just this intently, like I've got a steak sandwich or something.
All right, CW, I take my Jack Russells to work every day,
Yeah.
except Saturday if my wife's not on call. So today, I take them out to the truck and I put them in the truck. We're getting ready to close down. I keep their little treats, their riding treats, I call them, the little mini biscuits, up on the dash. And then when I leave them in the truck, I put them in the console so they can't, because Ella, my female, she'll get them and wreck them. And I'm like, well, you don't have any more treats, Well, I had a bag of pipe tobacco laying up on the dash.
Oh boy.
Well, I know it was Ella because she's she's not the spunkiest one, but she's the longest one. And she got up there and she got that pipe tobacco. I got the treat. And she got it down on the floorboard. And I could tell she chewed through the bag and got about that much pipe tobacco. I was like, this ain't what I thought it was. And I opened
a whole lot better to taste.
I looked at it and I said, you've been wormed. She was looking at me like, God, that was nasty. Oh man, they're too little. If I had Bodie out here, my little white Jack Russell, my little male, he'd be watching the screen intently. He loves watching videos, especially if people catch a fish. I don't know why.
That's curious.
Yeah, he's curious. He's 15 pounds of pure hell.
It's funny what they think about. My lab would watch anything with birds in it.
Yeah.
My Rottweiler liked horses. Anything with horses. Ellie could care less about anything on the television. Could care less.
Bodie
has no smell.
My little white one sees any kind of animals on there, she goes to barking.
Yeah, that's Bodie. Bodie sees dogs and he goes to barking and attacking the TV. And he's got he's 15 pounds and he's got a 48-inch vertical leap. So people come in the shop, I've got beware of dog signs everywhere. And inevitably a woman will look over the counter and go, oh, you're so cute. And I'll go, don't. And she'll stick her head over there again. Next thing you know, she's looking at his tonsils, Good God. Yeah, he's like, you're not supposed to be behind the counter. Don't stick your head over here. He's something.
I had to give him a bone, man. He's like I said, I didn't get to walk him today, so he's kind of mad at me. Got his feelings hurt.
What did he knock over?
I don't want to talk about that right now. And
There's
it's
Mark
not,
out there.
okay, I'll tell you, I don't want y'all to feel bad about that. But when my daughter was expecting the baby, we had a those mechanical rockers you put them in,
Oh, yes, sir.
and
Lifesavers.
he knocked that over,
Okay.
and that kind of brings back a flood of bad memories and stuff. So,
So if we have just a minute, Jamie, since we was talking about like revolvers and stuff, deer hunting or whatever, you guys have like a caliper you've not used yet that you'd like to? And for me, it'd be 10 millimeter. I'd like to take a deer with my 10 millimeter pistol. I don't know if there's anybody else that was
Talk to
curious,
CW.
something they'd like to try.
It works. Works good.
Hillbilly, you need my 10 millimeter open gun for that.
Oh,
Oh, man.
high point. Yeah, I'm taking the high point with me. Yeah. Speaking, do you mind? Did anybody see what High Point's coming out with? They're coming out with short barrel rifles, 45, 9 millimeter, and 10 millimeter.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, 45.
Yeah.
I want that in 45.
well, since you bring up that question and that topic, I've not killed a deer with 44 Magnum yet, and I have nice lever and a nice pistol that I could do that with.
Yeah, that works too. I've used that too.
One thing I noticed that from some pictures that CW sent and one of his videos, those contenders seem to have a very similar grip angle to Walter's Bisley. Is that a figment of my imagination?
And I can put them on top of each other if you like. Kinda. Yeah, kinda. I think the Bisley. Well, see, the Ruger Bisley isn't the same as a Colt Bisley. The Colt Bisley is even more upright than the Ruger. But I think the Ruger's a little more upright than the Contender. Well,
Are we making any sense to the guys in the side chat?
We're nerding out pretty bad.
Yeah.
See, I don't like the Bisleys.
I don't either. 6.
Hey, Harm.
I'm liking them better. I like them better than the Blackhawks. I got that 44 special Ruger, and that was the first Bisley that I've ever had, and I got a hold of that and go, oh man, that just works better for me. So then I ordered that 45 Colt Vaquero with Bisley frame and grip, and I like it too.
I took wife out when she was wanting to get hers so she could try different grips, and she ended up liking Bird's heads better than any of the others.
I like the plow handle. That's just natural feeling to me.
I like them both.
I forgot little bitty humans.
I'd like to take a deer with either the 41 Magnum that I got or the 44 Magnum. And I do like the plow handle grips on the Blackhawks. They do fit. But that set of grips that I got from Brownworks that I put on the 41 and the 45 Colt that has a flat bottom on it, doesn't have that bevel that the normal Ruger grips do. I shot that yesterday, and boy, I really did like it. It just gives a little bit more grip and lets you keep that pinky up on top instead of having it tucked underneath. That made a big difference. I like that a lot.
A lot of people.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
What do
6.
you want?
I've been carrying my 44 open sight with me for years, hoping to get a chance, but I never got one up close enough for it. And now I'm trying to put a scope on it, and I just can't seem to get a scope to work right now.
Hey,
I
James,
think
Hopefully
that
we got it now, but we'll see.
saw the notification for that video, but I hadn't had a chance to look at it yet.
Mark, a lot of people say that 41 is beats a 44 as far as hunting's concerned. Lot more penetration. I don't know. I've never owned a 41, but I know guys that have them, and it's a bad round. There ain't no doubt about it.
Well, I got the bug over a year ago and picked one up, and I do love it. I really enjoy shooting the 45 Colt. That's just a real nice, pleasant one to shoot. But that 41, I'd love to take a deer with that. That'd be good.
What? You're a pain.
So something I've never deer hunted with before, and I'd like to, would be a air rifle.
oh yeah.
Talking to 6.
Yeah, he's done it.
So 6, would you go with a 30 cal or a 35 cal?
The first thing you need to do is check your state's laws on them. Ours is a 30 cal minimum with a minimum of 230 foot-pounds of energy. I think it's what it is. Something like that.
Kentucky's probably like North Carolina. You can hunt deer with a North American Arms 22 Magnum. Short barrel.
That's it in Texas. In Texas, you can shoot deer with any center fire rifle, any. So that could be the smallest one they ever make to the biggest one.
Yep. There you go, Kentucky.
When it comes to air gun, they put a minimum of foot-pounds of energy on it. So,
I don't know what North Carolina does on air guns, but
yeah, I know Missouri you have to use center fire, so it'd be something new for me to have to check out for air rifle.
Yeah.
Well, for
a lot of the states are 35 caliber minimum.
For a southern state to rule out rimfire, well, my God, that'd be cutting half the people out of hunting.
Well, you got some of these states it's just straight wall jacket, so
that air rifle would work.
Yeah, that's the first thing you do is check your local rules.
I don't know if they still make it. Well, there's probably a whole bunch of really good ones, and get a hold of 6. He'll steer you right for what to get for a maker. But Crossman used to have a 357.
Yeah, they still make it Bulldog, but I would go with something else besides that.
I got a really nice Umarex, but it's only a 22 caliber.
Yeah, the Air Force makes a bunch of them, and there's several others. Air Force got their 45 that they sell. It shoots 250 grain bullets at nearly 1,000 feet per second.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I would buy for a big one. I think is those Air Forces. I forgot about those. My buddy's got one in 20 caliber that I've shot quite a bit, and it's a nice rifle. It shoots really, really good.
I mean, they got them up to 72 caliber.
Wow. I had a 25 Marauder for a while, and I wanted to use it for coyotes, but I never did.
I don't know who's putting them comments up, but I want to put this one back up.
That's me. I'm sorry. I was going through everybody.
In Maine, the minimum rimfire minimum rifle cartridge is 22 WMR.
Yeah, Winchester Magnum rimfire. Yep.
I wish it was.
We're not allowed to hunt with anything rimfire. Period.
Yeah.
For big game.
In Georgia.
Big game. That's the same way in Texas.
Yeah.
But you can turn around and shoot one of the little bitty 22s that are center fire. It doesn't shoot any faster than a 22 long rifle.
Well, technically, by the letter of the law, 25 ACP is legal here.
Yeah. That's here.
Yeah.
That's here. Yeah.
That's here.
You could hunt with a Titan
Yeah.
Titan Saturday night special 25.
I think they pinch
automatic.
you, but by the letter of the law, it says center fire 243 or larger. So
See, ours just says center fire. That's all it says.
See, ours is center fire with a certain weight grain. It has to be above a certain grain. It's code.
Now you go out west and it gets really weird. They got foot pounds and this and that and
case length.
I don't know. You have to have an engineer stamp on your caliber, or just shoot a 30-06.
I need to address this. Great to see you out there, Chico. And I did read about that. I got an email from DNR about Georgia's first case of chronic wasting disease in our deer.
Yep.
So I Googled it, and it's 35 caliber or larger in Kentucky for air rifle.
There you go. I look hard at those ones that Tex mentioned. They're something else. They're kind of funky looking. They're kind of AR, looking, but they're some serious stuff.
Jamie, I don't know what Georgia's doing about it, but North Carolina has got several counties under the red zone, and then the peripheral counties around that are in like a pink zone. And if you kill a deer in one of those counties, you have to have it processed in that county. So if you're traveling to hunt, you better know a processor in the area, because you can't take the full deer out and tote it back.
It's been that way in Georgia for quite a while now, where
it has, yeah.
If you're going somewhere to hunt, it's got to be, you can't bring in skin, you can't bring in any bones or any bones.
Got to be boned out meat.
Yeah, got to be boned out meat, and that stuff's got to stay where you shot it, and you can bring the antlers, and that's all.
Wow. Yeah, but no brains, just the skull cap.
The ranch I hunt on, they have to, or when they was having the problem, he doesn't have it anymore, but he had to take that piece out and put it in a solution and send it in right there on the ranch.
Well, and you have to do that here too. If you're in one of those zones that they found it, you have to have your deer tested.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. I mean, Catawba County, where I'm at, well, Jamie's been up here, and he can tell you the terrain. I mean, I know Hillbilly said, around here we only have 100 yards. We're hilly, mountainous to flat. We're right at the Blue Ridge Escarpment, and you can travel 30 miles one way, and you're in, 3,500 feet, and you can travel the other way and be 800 feet within 30, 40 miles. And a lot of agriculture, this and that. But we're surrounded by warring counties, and it's only a matter of time before they find it here. And
Arkansas had it really bad, and we started getting here in Missouri. And what Missouri did was they outlawed. You could put up an automatic feeder, and then it had to be shut down. All that, so many days before deer season. Well, now they just outlawed them all to get all year long. You cannot put up any automatic feeders, none whatsoever.
You can't throw out. You can't throw out bait on the ground too.
The spread it is the deer gathering at these feeders, and so.
Yeah, they're not even letting us throw it out on the ground if you're hunting within one of those areas. So,
hunting over bait here, like taking a bag of corn, that's only been legal in Georgia for about the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, we can't do it here.
Yeah, that's you used to have to be 100 yards, at least 100 yards away from your feeder. I'm like, well, that ain't a problem with my 270.
That's right. That's right.
No problem at all.
It's
All right,
like
let's-
it's like North Carolina's been wide open for killing deer ever since they established a pretty good herd. Maybe they did a pretty good job of stocking deer in here, but they kept us choked down for so long, and now my county's wide open. I mean, from day one of muzzleloading or day one of bow, actually, only your tags limit you. So I'm allowed 2 bucks, 4 does. I wouldn't mind them seeing cut down to $1, because we're getting some big deer here, and not Missouri class deer, but rack wise, yeah, but not body wise. But if we only have $1, that guy would think twice about shooting that spike, to fill that tag.
Let me talk to Chico here for a second. It's my understanding that this is not something that affects humans. That you can safely eat the meat.
I got a word on that if anybody cares to hear it.
Can we save that till after the verse of the week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we need to get to that. We're 4 minutes past that. Let's click that one. Okay. Let's show this one. Y'all know we've been talking about Romans chapter 10 lately. What I feel like I need to point out with this verse is, but let's get into the verse. Last week we talked about Romans chapter 10 and Romans chapter 10, verse 11 and verses 13. And that says, for the scripture says, whoever believes on him will not be put to shame. Then verse 13 says, for whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. This verse tonight, verse 14 says, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how can they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? So the crutch of this verse is the fact that we need to be going out and telling folks about Jesus. So a quick review of Romans chapter 10. Early in the chapter, he's talking about how his heart aches for the Jewish people who have rejected Christ and rejected him as the Messiah. They didn't believe that Jesus was God's son. And as we progress through the chapter, we get a systematic explanation from the Apostle Paul about how to be saved. And when we read verses 9 and 10, that was very plain. Now we get to verse 14, and he says, how can they call on him, God, in whom they have not believed? They hadn't believed that there was a God. Well, before you can believe that you can believe in God, you got to know that he is. So if you've never heard of him and you've never heard of Jesus, you can't possibly believe in him. And then how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard, right? You can't even believe. There's not a possibility of believing. And how shall they hear without a preacher telling them about God? One of my favorites, David Guzak, says that Paul rightly observes that it all goes back to the preaching of the gospel. Preachers must be sent, both by God and the Christian community at large. So how shall they hear without a preacher? Conceivably, God could have chosen any means for the message of salvation to come, such as angelic messengers or directly working without a human preacher. Nevertheless, God's normal, quote unquote, way of bringing people to Jesus Christ is through the preaching of the gospel. Uh, but it all, we should have started at the beginning of chapter 10, I guess. But it follows that it was proper that ministers should be sent and the gospel preached to the Gentiles. And this is something that we'll get to later if we keep talking about this. God said that he would, let me find it. Help me out, preacher's day off. What verse is it that says that he shall bring you also systematic?
She likes you to lay a little on
Where he will use the Gentiles. Basically, what I'm talking about is God will use the Gentiles to bring them to Christ Jesus. In other words, I'm going to send my gospel out to these people that are not my people, and they will become my people, and they will strike jealousy in you and cause you to come to him. So that's where we're at. So we've got to go. We've got to share the gospel with lost people, and not that I'm sitting here saying that our audience is lost, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that don't believe. And by doing this verse of the week, we're trying to share that with you, and that's what I'm trying to say, preacher. Thank you. Gentiles will provoke the Jews to jealousy, and through that jealousy, they will come to Christ Jesus and accept that the fact that He is God's Son, He is their Messiah that they've been waiting on and been promised so many generations ago. Questions or comments? I butchered that up terribly, didn't I, Hillbilly?
No, I mean you're fine, buddy. Yeah, it's basically, how can you believe in the word, and all that stuff if you can't hear it? And so, I believe that the Bible makes it pretty clear that it's our responsibility to share the word, the good word.
Yeah. I remember that now, service. Baiting in Georgia, a 2011 law change lifted that prohibition on hunters in South Georgia while keeping it in place for those in North Georgia. So, yeah.
About it transferring to humans, I'm good friends with a retired captain of District 8, which encompasses about 8 counties in northwestern North Carolina. And they went to school to study CWD. And of course, they were referring to a lot of studies from Montana, which allegedly that's where it started from. They believe, they're not sure, from a certain breed of sheep. So all that stuff about John Wayne not liking sheep herders, there you go. that it came from a certain breed of sheep, they think. And the study was they started feeding monkeys, simple primates, CWD infected meat. And one of the higher advanced primates actually contracted it, which we know mad cow will transfer to human. And it's the same type of thing. It's a prawn. It's a protein. It's not an amoeba. It's not a bacteria. It's a prawn. So what he told me was, if I go up to Hillbilly's place and I hunt deer and I kill a buck and I bring it back to North Carolina, which is illegal, and or say I have it processed up there, and I do everything right, but I don't wash the blood out of the back of my truck, and I come here and that deer's had CWD, and I wash my bed of my truck out in my driveway, that CWD's in that gravel and it's there forever. It doesn't go away. And I said, well, how much heat does it take to kill it? And he said, if we catch someone that's brought a deer down here from a CWD state and we confiscate that deer, we put it in an incinerator and we burn it at 15,000 degrees for hours. They incinerate bones. They incinerate everything. It's gone. And he said, that's the only thing I know can kill it. Clorox don't kill it. Nothing kills it except long duration, high heat. And I'm like, oh my God. But it's a prawn. It's a protein. It's not a living organism. So yeah, it's a little scary, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what Preacher says there.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is get mine tested next year.
Yeah.
We can cut the head off the deer and have them tested here. Yeah.
But in the meantime, do you get I process most of my meat myself. You just sit it there in the freezer and wait, and then make the decision, I guess. But, I don't know. What say y'all? Would y'all eat a CWD deer?
I don't, personally.
I'd have to ask my buddy about it. He went through all that through school. And the thing about here in Texas, they had cases of it. The sad part was, I don't know how many people know it, but it's not just in Texas. There's a lot of deer breeders in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all over the country too, but there's a lot of deer breeders in Texas. And the Texas Parks and Wildlife used the CWD as a tool to shut down a lot of those breeders.
They did here in North Carolina too. Yeah.
They would go into these breeders and go, we're going to check you for CWD. Well, the only way to check them is to kill them.
Yeah.
So they were shooting or putting down deer that these people paid tens of thousands of dollars for. And, you didn't have none and walk away.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of your smaller breeders just shut down.
And just because, to date, it hasn't been diagnosed in humans doesn't mean that it won't be in some time in the future, because it can take a long time, from what I understand, with deer, from time of exposure to development of symptoms. So, it may be something that stays relatively asymptomatic in people for a long time, and no one would know whether you had it or not until all of a sudden you start losing weight real fast or something. But
come on, Walter. COVID jumped to bats in like 5 minutes, right?
Walter, that reminds me of my grandpa. He would never eat anything out of the microwave, and he said, it caused cancer. I said, well, what do you say to that? Can you prove it? And he goes, can you prove me wrong?
No.
I seen an experiment with microwaves. They took a cup of water and microwaved it, and they took a cup of water that wasn't microwaved. Now, once it got cool, they was pouring each of those water in a plant with it, and the plant that got watered with a microwave water wouldn't live. It kept dying because you kill all the nutrients in the water.
Mhm.
Yeah, kill
That's,
everything off.
that's the canary in the coal mine, ain't it?
I thought you six. I thought you were going to come out with Geiger counters and stuff, and I was like, "Oh no,
No, no. If it kills all the bacteria or all the
Yeah.
stuff in the water, is it killing everything in your food?
Sure it is. Sure it is."
So basically, you're nuking your food to make it useless to you.
Well, look, and I'm not. I'm like Jamie. I'm not talking politics, but the new awareness of make America healthy again, I think is very interesting. That we went away from that. You know, from the time we were kids, and my mom was a health nut here in the South. You know, so I was dying for, you know, a ham hock and my pinto beans, and mom was making us eat wheat germ and take vitamins, and for the longest time I couldn't drink orange juice because I'd take 15 vitamins in my hand and gulp them and wash it down with orange juice, and of course there's a gag factor there, and now of course I think orange juice is delicious, but and I'm fairly healthy. I'm fat and happy, but you know I'll thank mom for making me at least try a vegetable. She didn't make me eat everything, but she made me try it. She was like, "You got to try that broccoli." Now I love broccoli. You know, of course it didn't take much convincing to make me eat collard greens. You cut me, and there's stars and bars roll out of my veins. So I'm all about some collard greens, but as Southerners, we tend to cook our vegetables to death, you know. So it's the red dye thing. It's the caffeine thing. It's a real thing, you know.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to, I haven't heard yet whether RFK Jr. got accepted or not, but I kind of would like to see his opinion on stuff. And, he said the other day, he said, "I'm not telling you can't drink soda pop. All I'm saying is I want you to know what the hell's in there first and what it could possibly do to you."
Well, do you remember what soda was when we were kids? I mean, it was real cane sugar and flavoring and blah blah blah, and all good soda pops came from the South. Coke, Pepsi, Sundrop. A lot of you don't know.
Man, I love that Sundrop.
I was going to say a lot of you don't know what Sundrop is, and then the California guy goes, "I love that Sundrop." Everybody loves Sundrop. You know,
Pepper, man.
My mom and her people are Kentucky, so
yeah. But
we're gonna start going through the room, guys. We're
oh boy,
and already and
we just started talking about Sundrop.
I know, and Gizzard Gary's back from Las Vegas, so he'll be.
I think I saw today that it's Gary's birthday today. Wasn't that right? Didn't I see a post from him?
Viva!
Yesterday. Yeah.
Was it yesterday? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turned 65.
Yes, 65.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can retire now.
He's been retired. Anyway, we'll let Hillbilly Up go first so he can get over there and show Gizzard what buttons to push and all that. So, no, we love Gary over here. I hope he had a great birthday yesterday. What you got coming up this week, man?
Oh, man. Hopefully, of course, tomorrow night we got Guns, Beer, and Therapy, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. So if you ain't doing nothing, swing by and visit us. And then I got some videos coming out. Get that new Savage 22 long rifle out to the range, and see if it can hold accuracy or not, and just kind of see what it's got planned. But anyway, yeah, just some videos here and there coming out. Thanks for having me. Always enjoy starting my weekend right here on Georgia Shooting Connection. Always a awesome, fun show. Always a great side chat. So thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, Hillbilly.
Thanks for being here, brother. Six, go ahead, man.
Oh, well, I ain't really got nothing planned. So I'll get some more 44s loaded up and go to the range, try to sight in that 44 again. Other than that, I ain't got much going on. We trying to get a lot of bullets loaded up so we don't have to get behind on loading for the cowboy shooting. So I do have a video coming out in the morning, new caliber casting for, so y'all stay tuned for that.
Cool. Yeah.
That's always interesting. Always fun, ain't it?
Yep. You muted, CW.
Think up some videos you could do testing out that 357 bullet.
Yeah, I got to get out and get some stuff casted first. Once I get some of that casted, I'm going to do some testing on it. So
very good. Mark Thomas, what you got coming up this week?
Well, we'll just see. I do want to load up some more of those hollow points for that 44 special. Those suited me very well, and I might even still load some of those cast bullets up. And I think I want to try those in the 44 mag. That's got a lot more mass to it, and I think those might still be able to be accurate. But I think I'm going to back those off for the Bulldog. We've got maybe a little bit more wrestling for Seth, and spring, just around the corner. Hopefully, we got Groundhog Day here on Sunday, so hoping for some good weather. Thanks for having me. Been a great evening, great conversation. So let's just go ahead and pass her on. I think maybe Rebels next.
Just work, and I'm running wire in my new boat to get my Garmin system up and wiring it for lights. I'm wiring green LEDs on the exterior for nighttime crappie fishing, the whole 9 yards. I'm ready for warmer weather. Ready. Of course, I look weird because I'm out on the lakes and everybody's doing the Bassmasters thing, and I'm out there with a fly rod. So, listen, I carp fish with a fly rod, and you talking about hard, but that's like low country South Carolina red fishing, except they don't taste as good. But if you catch a 10-pound carp on a fly rod, that's a fight right there.
For those of y'all that don't know, blackened redfish is an absolute delicacy.
Blackened carp is not.
It's not. That's when you throw away the frying pan and throw away the fish, eat the frying pan.
The frying pan, yeah, that's it.
Mr. Walter, what you got coming up, buddy?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting beyond this medication regimen for the face thing going on. You guys see what that's doing to me. Anyway, that's going to be done Sunday. Not supposed to be in the sun, but I'm going to break ranks and go to the range because I got this new revolver and I want to shoot it. I already got the stuff loaded up. It's going to show up on a Free the Few next Friday video over on Rumble, and that's one of my favorite loads for 45 Colt is a Lee 4.52
That's a good one.
Over some Trail Boss. And I've been hoarding my Trail Boss because I'm down to my last 5 pounds of it, but I got enough to go shoot this. So we're going to go shoot that new Vaquero 45 Bisley with that load. probably Monday, and it'll be on video Friday. So
Cool.
you guys can see that. So, and then we'll have a Wad Cutter Wednesday coming up also. So that's what's happening around these parts. Kentucky, are you alive and well up there? Or?
Yeah, hopefully I can get some range time this weekend. I got some errands to run tomorrow and church on Sunday, but I'm gonna try to find a gap in there somewhere. But I shot some groups here with my, let's say the cheapest bull barrel 22 that I have, which is a Savage Mark II 16.5 inch. And that's with a suppressor on the end of it. So got some .2s and .3s in there.
They're awesome, ain't they?
Yeah, they are. And now I got requests to go back and make videos of groups with and without the can, same ammos. So, you got to listen to your viewers. So, got some videos to make.
Mm-hmm.
Also, by this time next week, I will have a new Bagara BMRX. So that'll be coming to the channel.
Boy, it's hard to hide all that money, ain't it? I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Sold a couple now. I let a couple go. So
okay.
That's kind of what I do. I for those of y'all that don't know, I host the competition at our club, and it runs March through September, and we shoot twice a month. And I got a lot of old timers at my club that don't want to put the work in of setting up a rifle and finding what it likes and all that. So I'll get a rifle, scope it, shoot it, find out what it likes, and then there's like, hey, what do you want for that? I'd like to get into shooting with you guys. And I'll part with it because I've had my fun with it, and then I'll move on to something else. So,
oh Lord,
I got some that I won't part with. Don't get me wrong. I got some keepers, but it's all about getting new shooters involved in the competition also. So, but anyways, great show tonight, Jamie. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here, man. And I'm just picking on you, brother. I love you. And ain't nothing you can do with it.
But you can buy me a 22 anytime.
My wife.
That's what I was thinking when you were saying, now I've let some of them go. I'm like, yeah.
Now listen, guys. Listen. When I die, please don't let her sell them for what I told her I gave for.
Amen.
Yeah, it's like that short of the lady taking the Daniel Defense AR-15 said, can I just get $100 for this? And then she pulls out this CZ Shadow 2. And he said, my husband told me he paid $100 for this. But do you think you can give me $75 for it? And he finally just says, that's a $1,200 pistol. She racks that slide and turns around and walks out of the store and says, I'm going to kill him. Go ahead, Gene. I'm sorry. We're not being in a hurry.
It's all right. It's all right. Thanks for having me on tonight. It's always a good time, good chat. Let's see. This weekend, I got to work tomorrow. I got appointments throughout the day, so I'll be busy most of the day doing what I do. But Sunday, I'm going to paint the room I'm in, so you're going to have a different color backdrop next week. Going to pick up some more paint with my Ace rewards. They sent out a big sale deal for Ace members, so I'm going to pick out a gallon of paint for the living room and just try to be kind of homey about it, I guess.
What's going to be, Gene? Fuchsia?
Only time will tell.
Magenta.
You'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Not giving any pink tips out there, or pink hints, but you never know. Never know. Hey, but everybody have a good weekend. Take good care of yourselves. It's only once around the ride. So always remember to keep blowing that smoke.
Thanks for being here, Gene. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but we're getting a storm right now. CW and my brother, what you got coming up this week?
I got footage, I should say, for at least 3 videos today. I would have had more, but I ran into problems with my contender frame. So I got that coming up for sure. And like I said, I've got videos stacked up right now until I think March 13th on YouTube. And probably second week in February on Rumble. So there's quite a few videos that are posted, just waiting to, or uploaded, just waiting to post. Got another barrel in, got another scope in, so I got more videos to make on those. So I got more coming. I got more contender stuff coming. I got an idea for a video on the Harrods calibers, cartridges, where they came from, history and all. Had a lot of really good comments in my comment sections on my videos, so I think I'm going to do that. I bought a couple of older magazines off of eBay. I got those coming in. Those should have what I'm looking for some stories done by Steve Harrott and Bob Millick. So got that coming up. See how it comes out. I got an idea in my head. Hopefully it works out as good as it sounds in my head. So we'll see. But having a good time with that. We're into the end of January now, so we're getting through the winter here. Usually, once we get into February, it's pretty much a coast. So February can be pretty bad. So luckily, it's a shorter month. We'll see what old Punxsutawney has to say this weekend.
Blow his head off.
6 more weeks of winter, or 6 more weeks till spring. We'll see what he has to say.
We have General Beauregard Lee down here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, and might be a good time to go check out that movie Groundhog Day, right? Anyway, we've kept all y'all long enough. We thank y'all for being here. Thanks for putting up with me, and thanks to the panel. You guys make it what it is. The chat, we do what we do for you, for y'all, and keep those questions coming. And we missed any questions, we apologize for that. We'll try to do better. And until next week, we love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. We hope the Lord blesses you all real good. And if he's willing, we'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock, right?
God bless everyone.
Say good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.